So good morning, it's Patty Bogue, and this is a yin class. We're going to start on our backs over the bolster with blocks under our knees. And the wider you take the hands, palms are facing up, the more you'll feel this through your shoulders. And really let the body settle. Maybe tuck the tailbone under if you're feeling this a little bit too much in the lower back. And then without changing anything, start to notice your breath. Just notice how without any effort from you, the body automatically breathes itself. Start to notice where you feel most that breathing sensation. Is it in your belly, your chest, your nose? Just start to observe. If this is too much on your lower back, just get rid of the bolster and just come into corpse pose, just flat on your back. You can keep the knees bent if that's okay with your back. And then let's start to deepen the breath. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4 through the nose, and then just sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Think ah as you inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out through the mouth. Kind of say ha as you exhale out. One more time. And then let's try inhaling and exhaling just through the nose. Continue to think that ah as you inhale, ha as you exhale. But this time, just inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Keep the mouth closed slightly. Two more breaths. Good, and then slowly draw the knees together. Stretch the legs straight out on your mat. Take your thumbs overhead and then hook your thumbs and just give your whole body a nice big stretch. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, maybe scrunch up your toes, wiggle the ribs, wiggle the hips. Just give the whole body a nice big full stretch. Good. And then bend your knees again. We're going to roll over onto your right side and just come part way up. We're going to turn the bolster sideways. Turn your bolster sideways. So you had it long. Now the long goes across the narrow part. And place the middle of your right waistline right in the middle of the bolster. Your right arm comes down to the floor, so your head cradles. And then your feet scissor kick. So your right foot is in front, left foot is in back. And then take your left hand over your head, hook your thumbs, and push out through the feet. Reach forward with the hands. So big side body stretch. This is a great one if you have scoliosis, curvature of the spine. Good, so big full body stretch. You got to really push out through your heels. Good, take a big inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, lean your top shoulder back like you're looking up at the sky. And then inhale, come back to center, stretch long. Exhale, lean the top shoulder back, look at the ceiling. One more time. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, lean back. Good. And then come back to center, bend your knees. Slowly push yourself all the way up. We're just going to windshield wiper the knees over to the other side and then lay all the way down, this time with the left side in the middle of the bolster, your pillow. This time, the left leg is in front, right leg is behind. Hook your thumbs and push the legs towards the top of your mat. Reach your fingers away in the opposite direction and really stretch long. Good. Take a big inhale, stretch long again. On the exhale, look up towards the ceiling, kind of lean your shoulder back. And then inhale, come back to center, stretch long. Exhale, lean the top shoulder back. You should feel this deep into the armpit and the shoulder. And then inhale, stretch long. Good. Exhale and lean back. Good. Inhale, stretch long again. Push out through the feet. Good. And then soften. Come all the way up to sitting. Good. So we're going to go into Omega pose. So Omega pose, your feet are joined and you've got a nice, it's like Baddha Konasana. So it's a short stand, but it's a long stand. And I like to bring my bolster right in between my legs. Or if you don't want the bolster, you can just stack the blocks. So typically in yin poses, we want the head supported as much as possible so you can really let the body go. So typically I'm always saying long back. This one you actually can round. So pull the belly button in and then just start to slide your hands forward. And then you can stack your fists to come up to whatever level feels good to you. So I'm going to use my timer a little bit. So I'm just good. And then just fold forward. Really let go of any tension. Scan your body and just notice where you feel any tension and try to send the breath to that area to soften and release. So continue to focus on the mind. So when I first started doing yin, it wasn't so much that my body was saying, get out of this pose immediately. It was more my mind, right? That fast-paced mind, the monkey mind. So as much as we practice yoga for our body, to me, yin practice especially is keeping track of your mind. So use the breath as an anchor, or you can repeat a word or a saying, a mantra, like just slow down, or peace, strength, whatever word resonates with you. And then you'll notice after a few minutes, maybe you can go a little deeper so you can get rid of one of your blocks perhaps, and just go a little bit deeper. So notice where there's tension. It could be the low back. For me, for some reason, I'm feeling it in my feet, my ankles here. So as long as there is not any sharp shooting pain, just try to sit with that dull ache. Send the breath to that area to soften, soften, soften. Notice what happens to the body when you're feeling some discomfort. Maybe you're clenching your jaw. Maybe your shoulders tighten up. Good. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walk yourself all the way up. Good. Just move the blocks off to the side. We're going to place our feet down in the floor. Hands come around behind you. Fingertips point towards your buttock. And we'll just lift up for a reverse table. So push down, lift the hips up, gaze over your body, and then slowly just let your head fall back. Good. Push through the feet, push through the hands. Good. On the exhale, tuck your chin and let your hips fall forward towards your heels. Bend the elbows and now squeeze the elbows together and just lift your heart up. Good. Feel that nice stretch through the shoulders. I'm going to do a few shoulder things today, but this is a nice, yummy one. This isn't really a yin pose, but it feels good. Maybe just wiggle side to side a little bit. Maybe drop the chin. Good. And then slide your left foot forward. Zara, on your bed, on your mat. Zara, on your mat, on your mat. Oh gosh. And then take your right leg around behind you in half Virasana. Good. So this is where the blanket, it's nice to maybe prop yourself up on the blanket a little bit. Take a big inhale, pull the belly in, grow tall, and then we're just going to slowly walk forward. Can you go on your mat, lovey? And then just fold over the leg. So this is a hamstring stretch. And again, use your bolster or your blocks. You can place it right on top and then come forward. You want to really let the feet go. Just let the body get heavy. So we're not going to stay here quite as long as the previous pose because this one gets a little dicey into the hamstrings. So remember that Goldilocks principle. We don't want too little. We don't want too much. We want just right. So really listen to your body. You know it best. And just decide how deep you want to go. Find out where you're near the edge, but not over the edge. And then really sink into it. Feel the whole body soften, especially the face. Right? Really come back to the face over and over and over again during our practice. Relax the eyes. Keep your eyes closed as much as you can. Good. Take one more breath here. Exhale it out. And then slowly walk the hands back up. Now you can, if your quads are super tight, bring the bolster around behind you. And we're just going to lean back and you can put your elbows up on the blocks. So push down through your left heel, lift your hips up and just tuck your tailbone, and that helps bring the buttock flesh more forward. And if this feels good, you want to go again to where your quad is getting a little bit of a stretch. If you can go all the way down onto your back, go down. Good. And then grab the elbows and just hang here. Sorry, Zara's taking up so much of my mat. And then maybe grab the elbows over the head. So for some of you, this is going to be really intense. For the rest of you, you're not really going to feel so much. So if you aren't feeling it, tuck the tailbone under and really lengthen your quad and your right knee forward. Pull the ribs away from the pelvis. Stretch your elbows away from the torso. And then just soften into it. Come back to that breath. 4 inhales, 4 exhales. Scan your body. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere, your shoulders, your jaw, your belly, your feet. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then bring your elbows to the floor, grab your heel, push up onto the elbows, and then leading with the heart, come all the way forward. And then either grab your bolster or your blocks, and we're going to come forward all the way into a lunge. So bend your left knee, place the foot on the floor, and we'll just come forward and then step your right foot back. So coming into a lunge. Good. And then just feel out that top foot a little bit. And then drop the bottom knee. We're going to come right into lizard. So again, bring your blocks here so you can drop your elbows or your bolster. Lean and lead with the heart and the crown of the head. So your knee is directly over top of your ankle. And then come back to the breath. Just really soften and slow down. So every time you notice your mind leaving your body, right, what's happening, the sensations of the body, gently draw it back. I always think of it like a little puppy when you're trying to train your puppy. Just gently draw the mind back to the breath or to the sensations of the body. Really get curious. And then anchor the mind by following the breath. 4 inhales saying ah. 4 exhales saying ha. Two more breaths. And then slowly push yourself all the way back up. Let's just come into down dog for a moment. Just pedal out the feet. Good. And then drop the knees to the floor. I'm just going to take a moment to open up the neck. Good. So if this is hard on your knees, put the block underneath your bottom so you're just lifted up a little bit more. And then let's let the arms drape to the side. Take the shoulders up, back, and down. Good. And then interlace or sweep your hands up, interlace your fingers. Good. And then flip the palms up. Just give the fingers a little stretch. Maybe wiggle the shoulders side to side. Good. And then release the hands, interlace them behind the back. Good. Open up the chest, reach the fingers towards the floor. Squeeze the elbows together. Good. And then tuck the elbows up beside your left waist. Squeeze the elbows together. Good. And then drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. Keep squeezing that left elbow in towards the right elbow. And just let your right ear get heavy. Eyes are closed. Face is soft. Slowing down. And then drop the chin slightly towards the collarbones. Just feel a different part of the neck stretching. Keep squeezing that left elbow in. Good. And then slowly bring the head back to center. Just wiggle your fingers, let it go for a second, and then reconnect behind, interlacing your fingers. Lift the chest up and then snuggle both hands right beside the right waistline. And then squeeze the elbows together. So just be careful that your ribs, you don't overarch your back and your ribs jut forward. So pull the ribs in, squeeze the elbows together, and then slowly drop the left ear down to the left shoulder. Close your eyes and then try to soften and relax your eyes. We tend to hold a lot of unconscious tension in our eyes. So soften your eyes, relax the muscles of your face. Even just let the tongue relax in the mouth. Let the head get heavy. Just slow down. Slowly drop the chin towards the collarbone. Keep squeezing that right elbow in. And then slowly bring the head back to center. Good, release the hands. And then let's come forward, extending your legs long again. This time, bringing the left leg behind you into half virasana. So you're trying to bring the heel in as close to the body as you can. If you want to bring the bolster over top of your leg, we're going to fold forward or just use a block. And then again, this one, you want a little bit of a leading with the heart, and then you can round. So try to have the head supported. You're going to feel this in your right hamstring. So find the pose and then just soften into it. Really try to relax. Keep scanning and notice where you're holding the tension. On your mat, Sarah. On your mat. On your mat. Come back to the breath to anchor you. You'll feel a slight shift in your body as the muscles start to release, and then you can adjust your props so you go a little deeper. And then come back to that breath. 4 inhales, thinking ah in your head. 4 exhales through the nose, thinking ha. That's the Ujjayi breath. It's just activating those muscles at the back of the throat. It's kind of an oceanic type sound, and it helps to anchor the mind. And then slowly push yourself all the way back up. And then let's lean back behind you. You can, release your elbows to the blocks or the bolster and just stay partly sitting up. Or if it's okay with your quad, you can drop all the way down and then maybe grab your elbows. So everybody's going to be doing a slightly different version of this pose. That's okay. We all have different bodies. So really just tune into what your body is saying, right? Listen to if it's too much or not enough. There should never be sharp shooting pain in yoga. If it's just that dull ache, try to relax into it. Just slow down. Especially during these winter months, it's nice to just turn inward and slow the body down. Once you become conscious of how much tension we hold in the body, you can kind of bring yourself throughout the day to soften, to just remind yourself to soften and relax the shoulders, relax the face, unclench your jaw. Right? Our body's natural state is at ease. When we cause tension or we hold tension in the body, it's taking the body out of that easeful state, causing dis-ease, right? Disease. Two more breaths. And then just bring your elbows by the waistline to the floor, grab onto your foot, and then just push up to the elbows first. And then think of a string lifting your heart. Try not to come up with the head, lead with the heart. And then we're going to bend your right foot and come right into lizard pose. Good. Or not lizard, but lunge. So lifting the back leg. So we're just letting the blood come back into that back leg, the back knee. And then let's move right into lizard. So knee over top of ankle. And then you can use the blocks. So maybe to start with, you stay up on the blocks, just letting the hips get heavy. Maybe you want to drop the elbows down to the blocks. Slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss when you go too fast, but you also miss the sense of where you are going and why. Slowing down. Two more breaths here. And then slowly push your hands down into the mat. Take your back or your front foot, take it back into down dog. And just take a moment to pedal out the feet, bending one knee, pressing the opposite heel down. And then let's stretch our right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, flex the foot, and just open the hip. Getting into the psoas a little bit. Maybe look under your left shoulder, see if you can see the foot. And then straighten the leg, level out the hips, bring your right knee up to the right wrist for pigeon pose. Good, walk the back foot away. So here's where the blanket come in handy. If you're really tipped over, put the blanket under your bent knee butt. And then take a big inhale, stretch the spine long, and then exhale, fold forward. Good, resting your head on the block. Make sure the back knee is turned straight down. If this is too much, you can lay on your back and cross your right ankle over the left knee. Good, draw the belly button in, stretch the spine long, and then just surrender into the pose. Repeating the mantra that you set, following the breath, relaxing the face. Good, 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walk your hands back up. We're just going to windshield wiper. So I don't know if you can see me because I'm behind you, or my back will be to you, but we're just going to windshield wiper the legs. Take your block with you if you used your block. And we're just going to go to pigeon at the back of your mat. So straighten out your leg, your back leg, and then hands come in front. Lift the chest up and try to lengthen the spine as you fold forward, having the head resting on a block, or you can stack your fists and have your head supported on the fist. There's a trigger point right between your eyebrows. In yoga, we call that your third eye. When you press into that area, it helps relax the nervous system. Relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Just slow down. I'm constantly amazed at how much tension the body holds. And, during a practice, how many times I have to say to myself, relax, unclench your jaw, soften your eyes. So don't beat yourself up over it. Know that it's pretty normal and just soften the body. Just let any tension melt away. Two more breaths. And then slowly walk the hands up. We're just going to kind of come up onto our knees. Slide your front leg back a little bit. And then we're going to slide the back leg in, coming right into Gomukhasana, cow's head pose. So walk your feet away. And then we're going to roll back and sit up on the block if you need to. Otherwise, you can come right to the floor. So the knees are stacked, feet are out wide. And then you can just rest your hands on your thighs. Think of a string reaching your spine long. And then just let the hips settle here. So the more you can let go, the deeper the pose. Now, if this isn't deep enough and you need to go a little deeper, pull the belly button in and then start to walk your hands forward. Should feel this around the glutes, into the hips. Good, two more breaths. And then slowly walk the hands back in. And we're going to turn our hands. So you should have your left leg on top. We're going to turn to the right and just kind of come into a bit of a circle. We're going to hang forward here in Uttanasana. So your legs are wider than they normally are. Grab your elbows and just hold. You can bend and straighten the legs a little bit. Shake the head no, shake the head yes. And then release the hands and keep walking all the way to the right. All the way to the right. And then sit back down in Gomukhasana. I know that's a little tricky transition. So now we should have the right leg on top. So knees are stacked, feet are wide. Sit up on a couple of blocks or the bolster, put them under your bottom. And then hands on the knees and just grow tall and sit. Try to let go. Slowing down the mind, slowing down the body. This isn't deep enough, leading with the heart. So think of a string pulling your heart forward. Notice if you're kind of clenching in your legs or your hips. Try to let go, soften the muscles. Relax the bones. Two more breaths. And then slowly walk yourself up. Then we're going to turn to the left. So take your hands over to the left and turn back forward. We're going to come right into, so you can kind of stand up in forward fold a little bit, wiggle out the knees, and then pivot your toes out, and let's drop right down into Malasana. So again, if you want to sit up on the blocks, you can sit up on the blocks. Take your the back of your arms against the knees. Hands can come to prayer. So a lot of you, your heels are going to be lifted. That's a great place to roll up your extra blanket and tuck it under the heels. If you've got the heels down, then see if you're really rounding forward. Try to lift the heart up a little bit more if you've got the heels down. So again, it's okay. Everybody's at different levels. The key is to challenge your body. And then really let the hips get heavy. And I know I always say this one, but one of my teachers in Asheville would always say, if you did this pose for 5 to 10 minutes every day, you would never have to get a hip replacement. So I don't know if that's actually been factually studied, but when you look at the cultures where they squat all the time, most of them don't need hip replacements. They have really nice open hips. So next time you're talking on the phone to your sister, squat down. Or if you're making your grocery list, squat down and make your grocery list. Good. Now pull the belly button in. We're going to walk the hands forward, drop the head, claw your fingertips into the mat, and then just lean back a little bit. This is really yummy in your lumbar spine. And you can kind of shift the weight from one foot to the other foot. Good. And then just let the weight come forward into your toes and then come to your knees. And we're going to come all the way down onto our belly. Zara, I brought your bed for you. On your mat. On your mat. Good. So let's take your right arm straight out from the shoulder. Your left hand is elbow is lifted. Your right palm is right beside your left chest. And we're just going to slowly roll over onto our right side. Walk the hand away as you roll over. And then everything should be stacked here. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked, legs stacked. And for a lot of you, this is going to be deep enough. Just notice what's happening with the chin. Make sure you're not crunching the cervical spine. So try to keep your chin in neutral. Maybe you want to lift the top leg, bend the knee, and then place the foot behind the bottom knee and just let that leg get heavy. Maybe try to point your belly button up towards the ceiling. So we're not going to stay here as long because this one is a little more intense. And then slowly roll all the way back onto the belly. Good. Take your left hand a little forward and prop yourself up. We're going to take the right hand and slide it under the body. And then take your left hand over top. So the elbows are crossed. And now walk the hands away. Walk the hands away. Curl your toes under. So you got to kind of squish your boobs down. And then curl your toes under and just push forward a little bit. And then drop your head. This is a great stretch for the rotator cuffs. Louise, hopefully you like this one with all your tennis. And then really let the shoulders get heavy. Let the head get heavy. Let the lower body get heavy. It's funny how we hold tension in weird spots. Notice if you're clenching your glutes, really let your booty soften. Feel the legs get heavy. Just slow down. Good. Last breath. And then slowly lift the head. Slide your left elbow out first, right elbow out. And then we're just going to take your right leg and pull it up, kind of like you're in a tree pose. Flex your foot so your knee is perpendicular to the torso. And then take your right hand and prop yourself up a little bit. Take the left hand and we're going to weave it all the way through and then slowly roll over onto your back. So your knee stays where it was, and you're coming into a fairly deep twist here. So again, if you want to slide the bolster under your knee, you can do that, or the block under your knee. This dog can't get close enough to me. Hey, Zara? And then just let the shoulders get heavy. Feel that nice twist in the waist. Try to bring your right ribs towards the floor so that your torso is facing straight up towards the sky. Two more breaths. Good. And then take the right hand that's on the floor, bring it all the way over to meet the left. Maybe slide your bolster off. And then let's just swing the hips back into child's pose for one breath. And then slowly come forward onto your belly again. We're going to go to the other side. So take your left elbow straight out from the body, and then we're going to roll over onto our left side. Good. Let the head relax to the floor. Everything is stacked here, so your right hand is kind of supporting you. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Chin is in neutral. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked, legs stacked. Just notice that nice deep stretch through the pectoral muscles, into the shoulders. If this isn't enough, lift your top leg, bend the knee, place the foot behind the bottom knee, and then lean back. So you're trying to point your belly button up towards the ceiling. Good. Last breath. Good. And then slowly roll all the way back onto the belly. Good. Prop yourself up with your right hand. Lift yourself up and then take the left hand and weave it through. So the elbow lines up with the chest. Excuse me. Take the right hand across and then walk both of your hands away. Curl the toes under, just kind of push forward slightly, and then just let your head drop. Keep scanning your body and just notice the places where you can let go just a little more deeply. Notice your mind wandering, come back to your mantra: peace, strength, release, or attach your mind to the breath, just watching the inhales and the exhales. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly lift the head. Slide your right elbow out, left elbow out, and then just slide your left knee forward. So it comes to a 90-degree angle. Take your left hand forward, kind of prop yourself up. Take your right hand underneath the arm, and then slowly roll onto your back. Your left knee stays, and it'll kind of lift up off the floor a bit. That's okay. And then just come right into a twist. Let the left shoulder get heavy. You're trying to point the torso straight up towards the ceiling, but keep that left leg and left knee heavy. Eyes are closed, face is soft. Let the whole body surrender. It's a little harder in these twists to do deep belly breathing, but studies are showing that we are becoming chest breathers rather than deep belly breathers. And when we breathe into our chest, it stimulates that fight or flight mode. I always get these confused, but I think that's the sympathetic nervous system. So, what you want to do is breathe deeply into the belly. Anytime you're feeling nervous or anxious or can't sleep at night, try to breathe nice and deep into the belly, sending signals to the brain that everything is okay, all is well. Good. Last breath. And then nice and slow, roll all the way back onto your belly. Good. And then let's swing the hips back into child's pose. Oh, I'm almost running out of time. Good. And then come up into tabletop. And let's just swing your feet forward. We're just going to close with banana pose. This one is a really yummy one for the psoas. So lay on your back. We're going to interlace your hands behind your head and then just kind of start cinching, I guess is the word, over to the right. So you're trying to make a candy cane shape with the body, but both shoulders are down on the floor and both hips stay down on the floor. And then start to walk your feet over to the right. So you're making more of a semicircle. Take the left leg on top of the right leg and then let that left hip get heavy. So if you don't go far enough, you're not going to feel it. And you want both shoulders and both hips on the ground. But you create this little candy cane / semicircle with the body. Really let that left hip get heavy. Should feel this in the psoas. Just slow down. Got nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just watching the breath. softening the body. Good, last breath here. And then release the legs, kind of walk them back to center. Kind of scoot your body back to the center again. And then let's go to the left. So start wiggling your torso over to the left. Your hands stay behind your head. You're making that candy cane shape with the body, but don't let the shoulders or the hips come off the mat. And then walk your feet over to the left. Picking up the right foot, place it on top of the left foot, and then let that right hip get heavy. Hopefully you guys are feeling this one. I love this one. Soften the face, relax the jaw. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, but slow down. Good, last breath. And then release your right leg. Good, bend the knees. Let's just roll over onto your right side. And we're gonna close with a supported Shavasana. So if you've got two blocks, place the blocks like this. So one is on the high end, one is on the medium. And then you just place the bolster up like this. So it's kind of supported by the blocks. And then your bottom is on the floor. You can keep your feet in Baddha Konasana and then just lean back. Palms are facing up. And if this isn't working for you, if you want to come flat all the way down onto your bolster or just come straight into Shavasana, just let go. Just feel the whole body get heavier and heavier. Just notice when the body's relaxed, how the fingers just naturally curl. Feel the space between your eyebrows soften and relax. Feel the muscles of your face soften. The lower jaw releases away from the upper jaw. Surrender and slow down. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggling your toes. And then when you're ready, bend your knees and slowly roll over onto your right side. Just pause, take a breath, and then gently push yourself all the way up into a sitting position. Just keep your eyes closed, your focus turned inward. And bring your hands in front of your heart, bow your head. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining me today. So this was just kind of an extra. This wasn't my regular week, but we're kind of switching things up a little bit. So I thought it would be a nice time to do some yin. So I think we are going to have